Hi everyone, my name is Yukari and I will be making daily process videos for the month of July as I sketch in my Hobonichi Techo for World Watercolor Month. So let's get started. Today is day 14 and the prompt is faithful. And today I decided to paint some gladiolus, the red and yellow kind, and used a couple of different techniques to do so. And here are my supplies. I'm using my Chinese brush and using Hansa Yellow Light and also Pyrrol Scarlet for the petals, and then maybe a little bit of Quin Gold, using Sap Green for the stem and the leaves. And then finally I'm using Ultramarine Violet today for shadows. And I did quickly sketch the stem first and then a bunch of circles to represent petals. And notice that in the circles I have this like a smiley face, and that is where the stamen will come out of, and I'm using the violet to mark that so I can see how I can place the petals. And I am going to do a couple of different techniques. So here I kind of marked a triangle shape because gladiolus flower petals have 3 underneath and then 3 on top. And so I sketched the bottom 3 first. And I've added a little bit of Quin Gold to my Hansa Yellow and created the petals on top of the 3 smaller ones. And I went back and added the Pyrrol Scarlet for the edge of the flowers. And just kind of blurring those petal lines. And when the paint dries a little bit later, I will come back and add the stamen. So this is if you want to define your petals a little more. And another technique that you can use is just kind of a looser technique, I suppose. I just dot the outside of the circle shape that I made with the Pyrrol Scarlet, and I am going to go back with Hansa Yellow and here I had to be careful about not letting my brush be too wet, because if it bleeds too much, then you just kind of get an orange, as you'll see in just a minute. One of the paintings right there is just too wet, and so now the color's too diffuse. I'm sorry, it's right there. And so I just had to dab some moisture out. And the smaller gladiolus flowers are kind of circle shaped to begin with, because the petals haven't quite defined yet. And then the other 2 flowers, I am kind of outlining it with red first and then adding yellow. And so, yeah, you could either add the yellow first and then the red, or you can add the red and then do the yellow. And I think I kind of found this technique a little bit easier, and I'm a little happier with how the flower actually turned out. And since I had a little bit of the orangey color, I just painted the little buds. And I think it is kind of, for me anyway, important to put the middle shade so that I know which petals to make a little bigger than the others. Now I'm scrubbing off some muted blended colors in the top 3. And I am going to work on the stems a little bit while the paint is drying. And add in a little orange to the first one. And the leaves on the glads are long and wispy shaped, so they're really quite easy to do with a round brush. Just kind of start light and then push into it. And I'm adding a little more violet to the center. For me, yellow is hard to shade because it's not like you can add brown to add shadows. And I found that ultramarine violet is a great shadow for yellow. It's not as vibrant as other purples, and it just kind of gives it a great shadow for yellow. And I added the stamen, and I am going to call this done. And here is my completed page. I added a quote that says, "Let your faith be bigger than your fear," which is very apt for today's art and journaling, because it took me a long time to figure out how to do these flowers, and I filled up a page of my practice page trying to decide how I was going to paint this. And when you're recording a process video on a dated page, I kind of feel like you only have one shot to get this sort of right. Yeah, you kind of have to get over that fear of needing it to be perfect. Otherwise, it will just kind of stifle, I guess, your painting. And I kind of found myself doing that this morning a little bit, and that's why it probably took a little longer than normal to complete my sketch and my video this morning. But, you know, it's not perfect, but as Shada Campbell likes to say, it's imperfectly perfect. So I'm happy with it. All right, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.